I'm not
No.
trying to like kill the guy.
Right.
I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation, right?
I
A
understand.
homeless man screams on the subway. An ex-Marine steps forward, a restraining motion, and then silence. When the train pulls into the next station, the man is unresponsive. The incident happened in public, in front of dozens of passengers' phones. But when the police arrived, the person who performed the restraining motion was still sitting there, calm, ready to tell the story. This is not a clean-cut case, no weapon, no fatal blow, just a man's decision in the most tense moment. Daniel Penny grew up in West Islip, a small town on the east coast of New York. It was a quiet place where people knew each other at the diner and students greeted teachers on the street. After graduating from high school, Daniel didn't immediately choose college, but instead enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. He served at Camp Lejeune, where he received extensive training in the situational awareness, skills he would carry with him for the rest of his life. After leaving the Army, Daniel returned to New York, lived a normal life, went to school, went to the gym, tried to rebuild himself after years in uniform. On the other side of town, Jordan Neely. He was once known as a street performer, dancing to Michael Jackson, making people smile during rush hour. But life took a turn for the worse when his mother was murdered when he was 14. Jordan was disoriented, deeply traumatized, and over time he found himself homeless and struggling with mental health issues. Two people, two paths in life. One practices control, one loses it, and then they meet for just a few minutes on the F train. May 1st, 2023. New York City as usual, rushed, stuffy, and full of untold stories. On the F line train, heading towards Midtown Manhattan, an unexpected encounter is about to happen. Around 1:30 p.m., Jordan Neely, a homeless man once known for his Michael Jackson dance moves, entered the train. According to passengers, he shouted loudly, saying that he had nothing to lose, that he was willing to accept any
So
consequences.
I get off, I take the F straight from school to the gym. He's on there, and he's like, whipped his jacket off, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody, I can go to prison forever, I don't care, I don't do this. At that point, I looked at the person next to me like, hey, just hang on to this phone for me. I had my headphones in, took it off, and just kind of like grabbed him from behind.
Daniel Penny, who had just left class, was on his way to the gym. He took off his headphones, handed the phone to the person next to him, and walked up behind Neely. A restraining maneuver, called a rear naked choke, began. No one screamed. No one intervened. A few people helped Daniel hold Jordan's arms and legs, while the train continued to move. When the train stopped at Broadway Lafayette, Jordan Neely lay motionless. Daniel remained seated next to him, holding his position. And then the police entered. Within minutes, Neely was pronounced dead. No stab wounds, no gunshots, no blood. But death had occurred, and the question began to arise. Was that action saving lives or causing a tragic outcome?
Anyway, listen, Daniel, so we want to talk to you about what happened today.
Sure.
Thank you for sticking around.
Yeah.
And being cooperative.
Absolutely.
After being read his Miranda rights, the right to remain silent and have an attorney, Daniel agreed to answer all questions.
You have the right to remain silent until you've had an opportunity to consult with one. Do you understand?
I understand.
He describes the day's journey, from class in Brooklyn to the F train, on the way to the gym in Manhattan. And then Jordan Neely shows up.
I have class down in Brooklyn. I take the F down to J Street Metro Tech. So once the class finished up, I was going straight to the gym. I go to the gym in Lifetime on 23rd Street. He's on there. He's like whipped his jacket off, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm gonna I can go to prison forever. I don't care. I don't do this. At that point, I looked to the person next to me like, hey, just hang on to this phone for me. I had my headphones in and took it off and just kind of like grabbed him from behind.
When asked if he had strangled him, Daniel denied it. He stressed that he did not apply direct pressure to the neck.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so he was standing behind me, and I kind of came like this.
Okay. Did you apply pressure, Daniel?
No, I wasn't. I just wanted to keep him from getting to people.
He also confirmed that the hold was learned while serving in the Marine Corps. A blue belt, Daniel says the sole purpose is to hold someone in place, not to cause injury.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Got my little death before the sun attack.
There you go. Nice, man.
What you doing? What was your MOS in the
I was in 0351.
I was an 0331.
But it was that calmness that made many people question. A person who has just gone through an extremely stressful situation should be so calm? The investigator continued to ask. When Neely stopped resisting, did Daniel let go?
Did anybody else hold him down?
Yeah, there was two other guys that were helping. As soon as those guys came in and were holding his arms, then I kind of let up.
You let him go.
That's correct.
And when you let him go, what happened? What do you remember?
Daniel didn't run. He didn't leave the train. He sat there waiting for the police to arrive. But by then, Jordan Neely was no longer conscious. And the incident, though it lasted no more than a few minutes, left a lasting impact that continues to this day.
I'm not trying to kill the guy.
Right.
I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation, right?
I understand.
No.
Throughout the interrogation, Daniel Penny kept his voice calm. No shaking, no loss of control.
He's like, whipped his jacket off, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody. I can go to prison forever. I don't care. I don't do this. At that point, I looked to the person next to me like, hey, just hang on to this phone for me. I had my headphones in and took it off and just kind of like grabbed him from behind.
Instead of describing Neely by name, Daniel repeatedly used phrases like he, that person, he was acting crazy.
He was on there. He's like, whipped his jacket off, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody. I can go to prison forever. I don't care. I don't do this. At that point, I looked to the person next to me like, hey, just hang on to this phone for me. I had my headphones in and took it off and just kind of like grabbed him from behind.
Now, explain the interaction you had with him.
So I came up, had his back turned to me, and I just kind of got him in a hold, got him to the ground. He's still like squirming around and still, going crazy. I'm not trying to kill the guy.
Right.
A slight smile, not sure if it was self-mockery, pressure relief, or a habitual reaction to being questioned.
You learned how to grapple in the Marine Corps. What belt level you made it to?
Green.
Green belt?
Yeah.
Good. All right.
It was alright. I was a little bit, I should have went higher.
Daniel insists he is not a confrontational person, but says he acted because he saw women and children panicking.
I'm not confrontational, I'm not a confrontational guy. In the Marine Corps, I felt the need to step in.
Throughout the interrogation, Daniel's body language was extremely controlled. No defensive gestures, no wavering.
You felt like,
Oh, he was absolutely.
Did you feel like someone's life was in danger?
100%. I'm not trying to kill the guy.
Right.
This statement is central to the entire case. I didn't try to kill him. But in law, the question is not just the intention, but also what the actual action results in. Daniel Penny did not confess to the crime. During the interrogation, he maintained one thing. He did not intend to cause death.
I'm not trying to kill the guy.
Right.
But for Jordan Neely, any explanation came too late. He died on the train deck in front of dozens of onlookers and has now become a symbol of a host of questions about welfare, mental health, and street justice.
Say this is a distortion of the facts and believe New Yorkers will be able to see right through all of this.
They hired this person to come and represent Daniel Penny.
On May 12, 2023, Daniel Penny was formally charged with second-degree manslaughter. If convicted of second-degree manslaughter, Daniel Penny could face a maximum sentence of up to 15 years in prison under New York state law. Meanwhile, Daniel's legal aid fund has surpassed $2 million. largely from people who see him as a citizen acting courageously. One person leaves, one person is prosecuted, and the whole society is divided. One man acts because he believes he is protecting another. Another loses his life in public, and justice somewhere in between. What do you think? Is it brave or out of line?